Hi guys, I'm Jennifer and I am the founder of Reclaim Your Mane. A little bit about me. I am 58 years old, post-menopausal, and I used to have hair in my early 50s that looked like this. And then after some damage and hormonal related hair loss, I did a big chop and looked like that about a year ago. So I've been growing this for a year using the right products and getting really good results. So I wanted to share that with all of you and hope to help you guys reclaim your mane as well. A little bit about my background. I'm a journalist and I've also studied with the Trichological Society and the International Association of Trichologists, as well as with Dr. George Michael. He's deceased now, sadly, but he was a long hair expert. I spent time with him learning his tips and tricks. And unfortunately, at the time, fortunately or unfortunately, I was in my 30s, so talking about menopausal hair loss was not on the agenda. I wish I could ask him today. What we're going to do is I'm going to spend my time with you now talking about my hair growth stack, the products that I've used to grow my hair this much in a year. And then I'll do a part 2 that will be more of conditioners, bond repairs, after the shower, that kind of thing, to keep things straight. But one of the most important things I think I've done on my hair loss journey was to get a Jolie water filter for my shower head. I live in an area of the United States that has very hard water, and those mineral deposits build up on the hair and make it brittle and prone to breakage. So having clean water is, I think, probably the number one tip I will give. One of the shampoos that has been a game changer for me is the Nizoral with 2% ketoconazole. Ketoconazole is an anti-dandruff medication, so it is a medicated shampoo. But in addition to keeping your scalp free of fungal growth and all the other problems that can happen, it also takes care of the grease and blocks the DHT, which is the hormone that causes hair loss. So if you are menopausal or postmenopausal and you're noticing your part widening or your edges becoming thinner, I would highly recommend this. It's fantastic for hormonal related hair loss. When I use this shampoo, I do the sandwich method, which is I coat my mid-lengths and ends with a hair mask or a bond repair or just a good conditioner. And then I use this on my scalp, work it in very well. I use a silicone scalp massager to work it in. And then I leave it in for 3 to 5 minutes to allow the ketoconazole to do its work. You don't want to just put it in, do a few little, little massage and then wash it out, because it's not going to be on your scalp long enough to do the work it needs to do. So about 3 to 5 minutes, twice a week is what I've been doing. Another thing I have learned over the years is that shampooing your hair is very important. You cannot train your hair to produce less oil or whatever that the philosophy is behind that. You need to wash your hair daily or every other day at least, especially if you're suffering from hormonal hair loss of any kind. Postmenopausal women, definitely, because the shampooing will keep the DHT away. So you want a nice, squeaky clean scalp. You don't want a dry scalp, but you do want it to be clean, free of fungus, and free of DHT. I also learned that shampooing twice is very important. I used to think it was a marketing scam, but having your scalp as clean as possible is important. And if you follow a product like a ketoconazole shampoo with a nourishing shampoo, I like the Body Shop banana shampoo and conditioner. It's, I guess it's the 90s girl in me. But I like to use that as my second shampoo to really nourish the scalp. And if there's any dryness, it takes care of it. Ketoconazole shampoo is drying, so only use it once to twice a week. I like to rotate it with, I've got two favorites here. The first is the Philip B Peppermint Avocado Shampoo. It's very green, as you can see. It's got a really high concentration of peppermint oil in it. You can feel it the second you put it on your scalp, the tingling, and it's like a cup of coffee for your scalp. It wakes you up. Philip B is kind of a boutique a product line. Philip B himself is a celebrity hairstylist in the United States, but this is really fantastic. The peppermint oil acts as a vasodilator, so it brings blood flow to the hair follicles and the nutrients that your follicles need. So love this stuff. And I also, we'll see how my French is, but it's the Kerastase Genesis Ben Hydra Fortifant. I think I said that right. This has an ingredient in it called Edelweiss extract. And if you know anything about the Edelweiss flowers, they're these little white hardy flowers that live in the Austrian Alps. And they will strengthen your hair shaft as well as keep your scalp in good condition. So I think this is a really great product. It's expensive, as is the Philip B, but I think these are worth it. I am a big fan of Derma rolling. I got this Derma roller from the same company that makes the Minoxidil that I love. Growplex is the name of the company. I would suggest you don't buy a Derma roller or Derma stamp from like Amazon or a company that isn't known for promoting hair growth, because what you want, you don't want little cheap plastic needles. You want good titanium needles like in the Growplex, or I believe Root, the hair oil and serum company. They have like 24 karat gold plated needles in their Derma stamp. That's what you want. And you want 0.75 millimeters. That's the best depth for a Derma roller or a Derma stamp. Before using and after using, I always spray it with isopropyl alcohol to keep it free of bacteria. The last thing you want when you're making little micro channels in your, around your hairline, you don't want bacteria to get in there. Only use your Derma stamp or Derma roller once or twice a week. You don't want to be overly rough on your scalp. You want to be somewhat gentle. The needles will do their work. You don't need to, be too rough because quite frankly, if you get irritation, then you're going to have to stop using it for a bit. And that kind of negates some of the progress that you've made. Same with minoxidil. I'm a big proponent of minoxidil. It has helped grow back my edges. My hairline was receding, and this has been fantastic, a real game changer. It not only contains minoxidil, but it also contains other DHT blockers. Fantastic ingredients. There's ginger extract, ginseng extract, really good stuff. This will not cause scalp irritation, unlike liquid minoxidils and some other foam formulas. Also, when I apply it and then I comb my hair downward and let it dry, it doesn't give a greasiness or a dirty appearance to my hair. I can go about my day with this in without a problem. Charlie is playing with bugs at the window, which reminds me, thank you, Charlie, that if you have a cat, or small animals, be very careful with having minoxidil around them. It doesn't mean you can't use it. Just be sure to wash your hands very well afterwards before petting the cat, because you don't want them then licking themselves and ingesting it. So just be careful with cats, but you can still use it. Another product in my stack is the ordinary glycolic acid. Glycolic acid, salicylic acid, anything along those lines is really great at clearing your scalp, preventing, again, the grease and the DHT. Oh, I see whiskers. Hello, Charlie. Charlie makes it difficult, but we love him. So anything with salicylic acid or glycolic acid, just a little on the scalp and worked in, left on for about an hour before shampooing out, will leave you with a squeaky clean scalp. If you have flakes, if you have excess grease and oil, this stuff does the trick. Organic cold pressed pumpkin seed oil. This stuff is comparable to 5% minoxidil when used regularly on the scalp. And 5% minoxidil is the way to go. Often they promote 5% to men and 2% to women. Don't fall for that. Go for the 5%. But this is a great addition for when you're doing your scalp massages. We just recently posted a Sunday scalp massage, which was kind of relaxing and nice. And I hope to do more of that as we get more and more followers, to maybe do some lives. Another very important part of my stack is a good vitamin with saw palmetto, nettle leaf, pumpkin seed extract, and pygeum. So this is kind of a fascinating product. It's available through Vitamatic, and it is targeted to men with prostate issues, but it's got the same wonderful ingredients at a lower price point that is in many hair vitamins. So if you're looking to save some money but still get really high quality, I recommend this Vitamatic. So that's about it for now for my hair stack. These products together have worked wonders for me. It is important to realize that hair only grows a ½ inch a month. So in a year, you can get 6 inches of hair growth if you're careful and you don't get breakage that undoes that. But it's important to remember that hair growth takes patience. A lot of people, and I know there are a lot of YouTube channels that promise, grow a foot of hair in a month and a half. That's just not going to happen. It's not realistic. So a good way to keep track is to take photos of yourself on the 1st of every month. That's what I've done. I'll share the link to the video that I shot with my photos to show how much I've grown in a year. And I will keep doing that, because that's what gives me the motivation, when I can see the change. Sometimes if you don't keep track, it's hard to see the change. So thank you for joining me and Charlie. Good luck with your hair growth, and I look forward to seeing you next time.